I remembered it on a job one day, and I got blasted by the governor, and I was on my own, and he was like, I need this, and this done. And I was like, I did a little bit of that, and a little bit of that, a little bit of that. By the end of the day, when he come back, I'd achieved nothing, because it was like,
that's what I'm like, but it don't really
What you mean, like
affect me. I'm like, I start a task,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, I do that. You start speaking to people, and a lot of people are like
I'm
that.
like that.
Yeah.
But some people are so bad it actually affects their day-to-day. Like in these places, they don't have people to come in and help people that are dyslexic or anything. When you think about it, there's literally no support with people that need.
This is what I'm
extra
saying,
help.
and this is why I wanted to talk about this subject, because
Yeah.
it's like, it's always held me back in life, but I've got to this point where I don't care anymore. There was a scenario in the college where we was all standing around outside Able Skills, and one of them goes, oh, someone up there can't read. And I was burning, bruv. I wanted to bang him in his face. But I just went like that. No. I was like, Mike, it's not that I can't read, bruv. It's that I'm dyslexic. It takes me a little while, whatever. Do you know what I mean?
You ended up in Wood Green.
Yeah.
Wood Green, Muswell Hill.
What's it like growing up in that area of London? Because I've never really been there.
It was rough. I remember there was one situation where we was all sort of knocking around outside, and I was a child, on the side of the road, sort of whatever, and there was a lot of olders, and all of a sudden this guy come past on a bicycle, and then we just had bang, 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 and we all sort of hit the floor, and I was a child, bearing in mind, and gunshot. Maybe you shouldn't really see that sort of stuff growing up. Do you know what I mean?
Welcome back to another episode of Off the Job. This is our guest show, and today we have got Kevin from Elsby Engineering.
The original bad man.
I'd just like to say, normally we say special guests. He left special out today. I know why.
No banging on the desk,
Yeah,
please.
don't bang on the desk, mate. Yeah.
Why?
Because
it goes through the
it goes through the
microphone.
mic. You know, we've not got
Why do I feel like I'm being picked on there?
we've not got like the materials yet on here to like soften the blow of people like you who are just like.
All right, don't
I
bang
think-
on the desk, Pete. Like, it
I
goes
think
through the mic.
today we don't normally strip people back, do we?
No, but we're going to
I
strip
think
you
we
back.
should. We need to strip you back and go right to the start.
Oh, do you want me to see me cry on the show or something? What do you
Where,
want? What do you want?
Where was you raised?
That's a bit of a funny story. I was brought up in London, obviously, but I was born in Oz, Australia.
It's born in Australia.
Didn't know that. Didn't know that.
Yeah, no one did. It's not.
So you've got a dual passport.
I'm entitled to what they call dual citizenship, but I haven't applied for it.
I'd get it.
Yeah, I need to apply for that.
I'd definitely
just in
get
case
that.
it kicks off.
Yeah, I'd definitely get that. If I had
So
dual
why
with-
was you
with
born in
Scottish-
Why was you born in Australia? What happened?
Scottish parents, both from Glasgow.
How did they afford to go to Australia?
Caked up, wasn't it? No, definitely not. I think there was work out there at the time, and it was like £1 poms or whatever they called it.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
yeah.
so they went out there. And then I think someone in the family was ill, so come back, not much work in Scotland.
What age was that?
That was a long time ago, bro.
How old was you when you come back on the flight from Australia?
About 9 months.
You proper got into the culture then, didn't you?
yeah. Or yeah. Do you know what I mean? But on my birth certificate, there's like a
Whereabouts in Australia?
Sydney.
Sydney. I was born in Sydney, Australia. That's quality, isn't it?
Have you been back since?
You look like you
Yeah,
was
have
born
you-
in Sydney, bro.
He does, doesn't he?
You look like you should be a surfer. Do you know what I mean? Give
you-
up the
I'm not.
rugby, bro. Start surfing.
Have you ever been back?
Nah. Furthest I've probably been is like Thailand and Mexico. Do you know what I mean? Since
Where did you move back to then?
just London, Wood Green. Grew up in Wood Green and then moved up to Muswell Hill.
Was your mum there before then, or in Scotland to Australia?
From Scotland to Oz, from Oz to Scotland, back to London. So
Okay.
to London, sorry.
Yeah.
So, and that's all I've ever known. It's
So
London.
you never went back to Scotland at all?
I've been there a few times, but they didn't really like the accent. I don't know about all that. But yeah,
Would you rather have the Scottish accent or the London accent?
Well, I'm not going to embarrass myself today. But yeah, I love the Scottish man.
Before we get into it, should we get into the little Scottish accent?
Kev, can I just do the Scottish accent? Because you've done it once before on here, haven't you?
The English are too many. Yeah. I do resonate with the Scottish. Like, if I hear like a guy speaking with like a sort of croaky accent, sorry, I'm gonna bang the table. I apologise for that. But if I hear it, it's like it feels like home.
Right.
Just you know what I mean. I had to translate for mates growing up and things like that
Yeah,
because the accent was mental growing up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But
She went to Wood Green at 9 months.
Can I just ask one quick question while it's on my mind? Kev, have you had your teeth done?
I didn't have them done. I had them kicked out.
They look like they're
They
like,
are done, but I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and I had about 15 geezers jumping on my face. So
don't go to Turkey. Get the shit kicked out of it. Get a decent set of railings.
Get
you know what I mean?
it done for free.
Yeah.
We don't need Turkey, mate. We just need to get smashed the shit out of
it was
down an alley.
before it was a phase. So I've had them done like maybe 3 times. So every time it's like 10 years. Every 10 years, you've got to get them done because your gums recede.
Oh.
So you better have the money to get them done. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. What?
So you ended up in Wood Green.
Yeah.
Wood Green, Muswell Hill. Before I started secondary school, moved to Muswell Hill, and it was a bit of a culture shock. I'd never seen people with £110 pair of trainers and things like that, sort of growing up.
Yeah.
And but it was cool. I'm glad I moved up because you are a victim of your surroundings. Do you know what I mean?
What's it like growing up in that area of London? Because I've never really been there.
It was rough. I remember there was one situation where we was all sort of knocking around outside, and I was a child, on the side of the road, sort of whatever. And there was a lot of olders, and all of a sudden this guy come past on a bicycle, and then we just had bang, 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 and we all sort of hit the floor. And I was a child, bearing in mind, and gunshot, and it was like, maybe you shouldn't really see that sort of stuff growing up. Do you know what I mean? No, definitely you shouldn't see that stuff growing up. So seeing things like that, moving up to Muswell Hill, there was rough parts and there was things that I'd see my mate get stabbed in the arse by a KFC in Muswell Hill. The guy that did it was with us. That was a bit of an experience.
What, he was like a friend?
No, like he was with us and it was over a cab ride. There was too many of us to get in one cab.
Yeah.
And I don't know why he did it, but it was his hands. He started doing this stuff with his hands. So whatever he was on or whatever, and 2 of them started arguing. Yeah, I'll get in a cab with you, but have you got money to go halves? And then I remember he sort of was half in the cab and he was half out. And then I remember I was in the other door getting in and he was like, "Did you just stab me?" And I remember it. I got out and I was like, he's just stabbed him. And I remember sort of pushing him up against the KFC and getting tissues and holding it against his arse. And it was coming out like oil, the blood. And I was like, oh my God. And I remember grabbing the guy because he'd put the knife in his back pocket.
Yeah.
And I sort of grabbed his wrist and I was sort of trying to and he was like, "No, Kev, no, he'll stab you. He'll stab you."
Was he out of it then?
It must have been on something. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to say.
What age was that?
That was probably about 18, because we were going to maybe 18, 19, because we were going to bars and clubs.
But geezer within your group,
He was with us. He weren't sort of
a mate,
but he was with us. He got his sort of comeuppance, but I just don't condone that sort of kind of behaviour. I'm so far removed from that
when
sort
you
of
say he
lifestyle.
got his comeuppance, what do you mean? We went to prison, or he was?
I think he got the shit kicked out of him.
Right. Okay.
And that's 20 years ago nearly.
Yeah, bruv.
Imagine what it's like.
I'm getting old, bruv. I might look young, but I'm 39 on Friday, so
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? I'm sort of next year I'll be 40.
But like
I'm
you say-
catching up with you, Pete.
Yeah, that's like you say, 20 years ago, but that was happening then. So, and now, what knife crime is like
Even
now,
worse.
it is worse now, isn't it?
And one of the guys that I grew up with, Farron Paul, he's been on the news and he's got this big sort of amnesty, sort of getting knives off of the streets. So he was giving JD cards out and things for that. I grew up with him, and he was a bad boy growing up.
Yeah.
He was like 10 most active in Haringey, and he was a problem. But he's changed his life around, so I'll give him props, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because I think he got sacked 8 times in 2 different sittings. So 8 times. Someone tried to kill him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because of probably who he was or whatever. But that's the sort of things I'd seen. So for me, having them struggles and then, you know, like being dyslexic is a big thing for me. That was a big thing. That was like a dark secret for me.
How did you cope with that in school? Like, what was you like in school?
I wouldn't say I was a bit of a bad boy, but I got on with everyone. I got on with everyone. There was like different sort of groups. There was like sort of grungy groups. There was popular kids. There was everything. And I was always sort of like half fighting and things like that, just because I was little. But it, I liked school. I was always there. Did bunk a little bit, but I was always there. Got some GCSEs. Didn't do amazing, but for me, school, I probably learnt more when I left school than when I was in school, because I was badly dyslexic, had extra teachers and everything. But if one of the teachers would sort of test me, or sort of public sort of reading and things like that, I didn't have the intelligence then, I would say, to sort of deal with that, because I was like, they're mugging me off. So I'd just pick up a table and launch it across the room, because I didn't have the intelligence there to sort of
So if
deal
it's
with
like
that.
out in the open, you thought they're just...
Yeah, like it's an attack.
you down,
so
yeah.
when someone attacks you, you go on, you know, you attack back. But now that I've progressed in life, and for me, 6 months ago, I'm better than I was then. Whether it's in my knowledge, who I am, we met at the same time. I was two.
Yeah.
We all met at the
Yeah, that's
installer
crazy,
show.
isn't it? Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So to see your progression, you didn't have a massive following like that, Pete. You weren't in the tech game. Like, so for me, it's like seeing that is massive.
It's mad, isn't it? When you think back, that was like 3 years ago, isn't it? Was it 3?
I think it's
Longer.
longer than that.
Was it
It's
4
longer
years
than that.
ago?
Yeah, it's longer than that.
2021, I think.
Yeah.
3 years ago then. 2024 now, isn't it?
Was it 2020? I can't remember when it was. 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, something like that, wasn't it? But yeah,
But it feels like a long time.
we was all sat around the table, wasn't it? In the bar, wasn't it? Just the first time we all met, and we was like, "Oh." But I did say to you at the time, I said, "I got big plans. I got plans. I'm gonna do stuff." And now here we are. We're sitting there. We're doing all right. This podcast, it's just new, and it's like, but we wouldn't.
You just never know what's around the corner.
Yeah,
never know,
it was
innit?
a little bit miserable back then, bruv.
Oh, wasn't it? Boy was in a bad
I got
place.
on with you straight away. I literally felt like I known you for a while. You two, I was sitting there.
gotta
They
take
was
this
all
off.
having their posh dinner.
I've got to take this off. I'm getting hot. I
getting
can't
to-
have this on, and I don't care about the stain on my shirt, Kev. I really don't. Who cares? Tell you what,
Pete, you got a stain on your shirt, bro.
yeah, no, it's bad, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
it's mad how things turn out.
Yeah,
innit?
and I love that. I love seeing your growth. I love that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether you fly past me or whatever, because a lot of people love to see you grow, but they don't like to see you do better than them.
Yeah. When you get
There's
to
a lot
like
of that out
a
there.
certain level, people, don't.
There's a lot of that out there, and you see it where people where you used to be like, used to get on with, and they used to back them, and then they used to like engage with you. When you do bits, then you suddenly start seeing people die off.
Yeah.
You realise like
Yeah.
who your friends are, didn't
Yeah,
you?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. And like,
and who you want to associate yourself with as well is important.
yeah, and because of people are like always swearing and things like that, that can't really be marketable, you know, and things like that. You can't really, do you know what I mean, Pete? You can't really market that. The struggle's been real. Sort of coming up. I'm a pipe fitter, plumber.
So what did
gas
you want to
engineer.
do when you was leaving
Like, I
school?
always knew that I wanted to be a plumber. I knew that was a thing. I never was going to be in an office or anything like
Did
that.
you go college after
But even when
school?
you was 9 months old in Australia.
Yeah, swear down. Come on. I always, because I remember sort of labouring back in the day, and I just was like, the plumbers were my mates. Yeah, whatever you need, bruv. Like, I'll do it. Yeah, like I'll work for free, whatever. And I was always consistent.
Did you go straight into college after school
No,
or work? Or?
no. I did other jobs. I tried to be a mechanic. I was like, ugh, grease, allow it.
With
So I
people
thought,
you grew up with going down wrong roads and stuff? Or
yeah. There was a lot of people, even to this day, like I bump into some of the mandem, and they're just on some smoke. So I'm not really, I say hi and bye. I don't entertain it too much because they might want to end up in a kitchen or something. I'm not really on that. I'd rather go paintballing or do you know what I mean? Do something. I'd rather just go home and watch Netflix. Do you know what I mean? I'm not really on that. I don't mind going out and raving and whatever, but there's a certain time I'm like, I've had enough, I'm going home. Because there's everything else that goes with that. I've never smoked a cigarette. I've never smoked a cigarette, done any drugs or anything like that. And in the environments that I grew up in...
No, you've done well not to.
Yeah, I think I was nuttier than them because I've been in the kitchen talking and they're all... and I'm just normal.
Yeah.
Like, and I think maybe I'm the worst one. Does that make sense? Do you know what I mean?
I don't
it's
think,
hard,
no,
like,
I
'cause
don't
I'm
think...
the same. I grew up around people doing drugs and I never touched it.
I just
Like, how
was
did you never end up... It's mad. You think, how did I never end up doing that around all those people? It's just...
peer pressure never really got me.
Yeah,
I'm stubborn.
See, I was an easy follower. It was always on my school report. Peter is easily led. He's easily led. And yes, I did.
Yeah. Like, I mean, and maybe in
certain-
school I was easily led. I was always in to have a joke and stuff. I used to fight in school, like with some of my mates, like play fight. But we used to stab each other with compasses and we used to think it was hilarious. Well, I thought it was hilarious because the needle on my compass was that big.
Oh, mate, I tell you what, I got stabbed with a soldering iron. I was in tech, right, and this kid was taking a piss out of me. Like, in my year was proper piss takers. So I said, you stop taking the piss out of me. Like, it's whatever he was saying. And he said something again. I've gone to punch him, right? And he's just got the soldering iron. He's gone like that, and I'm going boom straight in it. Stabbed me in my hand, right? And I'm like, you just stabbed me with a soldering iron. And he's like, huh? And then I got up to the teacher and went, I don't know how this has happened, but
No snitching round there, bro.
fucking hold him there. I said, I just waved my arms about and this Paul soldering iron went through my hand. I've gone to the office and I've like, how has that happened? I'm like, I'm starting to feel a little bit faint. And I've still got the scar there, man. It's still there somewhere.
Something happened. As you can
Yeah,
imagine,
there.
I was quiet in
that?
school.
Look, there, it's there, look.
Quiet in school? You was quiet when I met you, bro.
I was quiet in
You're not
school.
exactly.
Only last couple of years you come out your shell.
Yeah,
And,
you're not exactly trappy, are you?
I can't remember what class. I think it was like RE or something. I was sitting at the back, pretending to be a bad man. And
Pretending keyword.
God don't exist, innit?
Yeah, you were pretending I was a bad man.
people were hyping me up to chuck a paper ball
Aeroplane.
at the paper ball at the teacher as he come through the door because he'd gone out.
Yeah.
So I rolled up this paper ball and then just launched it at the teacher as he walked in, hit him in the side of the head. And I was like sitting there like that, crapping myself, and everyone grasped me up.
They coerced you into your own demise.
I tell you what, in our school, right, there was some right little bastards in our school, right? There was this teacher, office studies.
Pete, let me just cut you off there.
Right.
You went to the school that designed the people that carry the stuff to the van.
We used to do office studies, and at office studies, you always had them lessons that nobody give a shit about. You had office studies, you had French, you had RE, do you know what I mean? Music as well, nobody really give a shit about in my school either. But in office studies, there was this teacher, right, and she had no control of the class. And one day, we're all around her while she's giving us this chat, right, and all of a sudden, she's gone, who has just singed my hair? Right? A girl had gone behind her with a lighter, right, and just gone, like, and her hair just went like that. She didn't even turn around. She just smelled. We just see the girl go like that, and she just smelt her hair, and she went, "Who has just singed my hair?" And it was like, Jesus.
Respect for her being calm and collected.
Oh,
this has
she's
happened
proper-
before.
Then she walked out, got the fire extinguisher, put herself out, and went and got the head of year. And
Who snitched on her?
well, nobody. I think she realised. I think the girl, she just grassed herself up.
You didn't go to the school that he went to, then, did it? Snitches, get
Funny,
snitches.
innit? School. I was never really that in school. I was never really interested. You say you always wanted to be. I don't know how old you was when you
Do you
decided
know
to
what
be a
it
plumber.
I didn't want to be at school.
Like,
I
liked
school,
school. I did like it. Like obviously the classwork and stuff. Like I struggled with, but there was teachers that reached me. Like you couldn't muck around. They weren't having none of it.
Oh, mate.
Like so
Telling
when
my kids about this the other day.
do you know what I mean? Like when you can't muck around, they're on you. Like and then I'll be honest, there was a what's it, Mr. Emerson? He was on job, man. But where other teachers, because my brother would been in the school 5 years previous, and they just tarred me with his brush, and certain teachers were just cool, man. Like you'd be caught eating or something, and they'd be like, "Is that sweets?" And I'd be like, "Yeah," and he'd be like, "Can I have one?" I'd be like it'd catch you off guard, and it was like catch you off guard so much. You'd be
Yeah.
like, "I like that guy."
We had
Do you know what I mean?
all schools are the same, but we had teachers in our year who you just didn't about with
Yeah.
because the technology teacher, I always remember him, and he was notorious, right? He was notorious for being a bad man.
Yeah.
Like he was like, you about in his lessons. He threw stools out of windows from the second floor. He was off his head. He'd have kids up.
That can't run now.
No,
bro.
no. He'd
Like,
he'd have kids up against the lockers like that. Don't around. He'd be swearing. He'd be having roll arounds with
I
kids.
think that's 4 Fs in 1 minute.
Yeah, I know, but that's what the teacher was like. That's what the teacher was like. My cousin was like, he was watching him. He was doing something on one of these BBC computers. Do you remember the old BBC computers? He was like programs. My cousin turned around to me and went, "I'll program that computer for you." So he went, "Don't give me that bollocks." And that's how he spoke to the to the kids, like
Yeah,
just
I
as
had
if
a
he was
teacher
down
like
the
that.
pub. And you just didn't muck about with him because he was just like off his head.
I had a teacher like that, Mr. Sweeney. It was RE as well, Scottish geezer, and he did not mess around. But because he swore and things like that, you were just so taken back by it, you didn't mess around with him just because he would just swear at you or swear at a situation. I remember him putting a condom on a table leg, like because he done sex education as well. I'm like, what's that, bruv?
I had a teacher physically remove me from class before. He actually grabbed me and he actually pulled me out of the class like by the scruff and just launched me out the room.
Yeah.
And after he's come up to me, "I don't understand you."
Coffee breath.
He went, "You've got that's it.
Yeah.
You've got so much potential and you choose to just piss about with all the others." He was more annoyed. Do you know what I mean? It must be frustrating for teachers.
When you see, I see it now. So, going on that, I see it, a lot of the them around the way, and they all work for one of my pals. He's got a company, commercial sort of plumbing and heating company, and a lot of them ain't got a qualification to their name.
No.
And where I've had to struggle so hard to get all of my quals, it's like, I don't get it. And they live for the weekend, and they've got girlfriends, and they've got kids, and they've got things, and they're weekend millionaires, skint on Monday.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't get it. They don't see the bigger picture.
Yeah, and I've lived that life. I've lived that life where
I
everything
think we
was.
all have to a certain extent.
But when you grow up, you've got to get older, and there's more than just let's get pissed at the weekend, in it. It's more. There's
I
more
think you
to
have to
life.
go through that stage though.
Yeah, of course.
Everyone.
Some
It's
people-
a thing.
some-
It
most
takes
people go through
21
that
years to be 21 years old. You can't do it in 19. So you have to go through that, and I get that. There's things that you have to go
part of
through in
growing up.
life.
Yeah, it's just
like,
part of
But there are
growing up.
some people's stages who last longer than others in there.
yeah, but
That's
they
the-
all get to the same bit. You'd like to think they all get to the same place eventually.
The people don't get to that stage. I think they haven't worked out what they want in life.
Yeah.
That's
And
what it
I've
comes
had
down
people
to.
come back to me and apologise for like 10 years ago how they've acted, because maybe they've got to a point in their life where they've realised, I was a dick.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And my thing is now, I booked a welding course this morning just because I don't want to be a welder, but I just want to know how to weld. I've done the pipe fitting, but I never done the welding. Never want to do that for a job. Hard job, breathing in fumes, all things like that. But just another thing that I can add to my roster.
What did you go into then?
I went into, so I'd done a little bit. My stepdad had like shares in a company or whatever, and it was all like council work and that. Went on there as a painter and was there, and I was like, no, I want to be a plumber. Like painting these council houses and that, like I was just not on it. Then I sort of got friendly with the plumber and I'd knock about with him. Then he sold his shares in it. And then my pal said to me, have you got a CSCS card? And I went, yeah, I just have to apply for the card. Done that. Like next week, I was on site. I turned up on site and I was like, yeah, health and safety. I'm going to be good. I'm going to do this. I've got to do that. Got into the plant room. Ting, ting, ting. There's just fittings getting thrown. Big 2-inch black malleable fittings getting flown around the plant room. And you're just like, rah, what's going on? You know, M10 nuts and bolts getting flying around.
Just messing around.
Yeah. And that's the governor. And I was like, and I got really, like, the governor, I always looked up to him, like, almost, I don't want to get, like, sort of funny, but like a father figure. He was a good guy. I spoke to him the other week because said, like, I appreciate sort of the time he took with me. Because I was sort of, you know, the class clown. Always have sort of gone down that road. Always humour's been my thing, like laugh and joke and whatever. So sometimes people don't see the intelligence behind that. Because when you're always laughing and joking, like, people never see your intelligence, Pete. Do you know what I mean?
He ain't found it himself.
No, but it takes like, most people that are funny are incredibly intelligent. It goes hand in hand.
But I probably, maybe even
Well, I
not that
disagree.
funny then.
Yeah, I disagree. I'd like to think that you're intelligent.
got
You're
that-
not stupid by far.
No,
Take
no.
all the jokes out of it. You're not as stupid. But as much as I would like to say you are,
Oh,
you're
thanks,
not.
Kev. I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
Take it whatever way you want, bruv. Do you know what I mean? But it's a thing, isn't it?
So where are we going now? Then?
I forgot what you were saying now. What was you saying?
He's always doing this because you was thinking of the next question, weren't
I
you?
always do. I have to try and keep it on track, otherwise it goes all there.
Yeah.
You speak 20 minutes about
what was he
something.
saying about, like, intelligence, school?
No, before that.
I've lost track now.
Make
He's
sure
talking
you
about his
edit this
governor.
bit out.
Yeah, my governor.
It was what you started going into.
Pipe fitting.
Pipe fitting.
Pipe fitting. Hard graft.
Yeah.
Hard
I
graft.
never done
And that's
that.
all commercial, isn't it?
All commercial. That's where I started. Barrel, I've probably got some swarf in my veins or something somewhere. Some Boss White.
How long was you doing that for?
I was probably about 7 years on
Did
the
you want to do
tools.
domestic plumbing?
I didn't.
Or you didn't really know what the difference
I didn't.
at the
I
time
did and I
was?
didn't, because people would say to me, they would say, "Are you fully qualified?" And I'd have to say no, because I don't like lying. And they would ask me questions that I couldn't answer, so that kind of fueled my wanting to know. Because everyone, when you say, "Oh, I'm a plumber or I'm a heating and ventilation engineer," they're like, "Oh, I've got this problem at home," and when you can't answer it, it's like, "Oh." Do you know what I mean? So that burns me. So I was about 7 years on site, something like that, before I ever went near a college. And then the
Okay.
governor put me in college.
Because you don't really need to do college for pipe fitting, do you?
Well, you still need a qualification. You still need, like, you don't need to, but
Well,
then
is
if you
it-
work for that firm and then you go to work for another firm, like, at some point someone's going
I
to
didn't know
want to
there's
see
a
some
set qualification though for a pipe fitter.
heating and vent, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, and then what's it? Then the company went bust or something, and I ended up having to do it all off my own back. Then the
How come-
plumbing.
Yeah, sorry, I was sort of taking it back. Why did you say, because I don't really know loads, but why did you say he was like father figure?
Yeah, because he took the time to sort of show me something. They didn't sort of. They kept you at a certain place where you knew enough to do. They didn't teach you enough for you to rise up, if that makes sense. But he was just a cool guy, and he must have seen something in me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, companies do that. They'll train you up to do enough to earn money for them most
Yeah,
of the
they
time.
don't want you to be any more than that.
Yeah, so they'll give you just enough so that you can just make money and money and money because you become really good at that one thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I know where you're coming from on that one.
And a lot of people are like that. They're really good at sort of, putting fan call units in, piping them up, or, piping chillers up, or plant rooms. Smash out a plant room, no problem, whatever, prefabbed, welded, whatever. But it gets to a point where, like, I get sort of stagnant. if you get stagnant, you get Legionellas. So you got to do something else. So it was the pipe fitting, the plumbing. Then I was in a relationship and I thought I want to bring more to the table here, and I was earning good money. So I thought, all right, what else can I do? You know, face one of my fears, go to college and, you know, do my gas. Can I do my gas? Can I achieve that? And it was one of the boys.
Obviously, if you've got bad dyslexia, you're going to doubt yourself, doing
mate, massively. But, you know, you shop around and you look at different colleges and things like that and whatever.
So, go on. Sorry, I've interrupted you there.
No, carry on.
So with the dyslexia thing, like, what do you say, like, as a bit of advice to people who fear it? Because, like you say, going into a college or doing your gas safe and that, and people with dyslexia are thinking, oh, I don't know. How did you cope with that? How did they manage that around you within the colleges and, like, the gas safe college when you did your, like, gas safe? How was that?
I'll be honest with you. I would have rather had a fight with all three of you at the same time than go and do that right now. I'm deadly serious.
Yeah.
Like, I'll definitely get Pete down quickly. Yeah. Then Keiran, then he's going to be the hardest. No, but I would have rather have done anything but that. And even, like, so it was take myself out of the situation. It's not about me.
Do you think it's more like, because you said...
It's a fear.
Yeah, it's a fear.
And it could be, you said, like, you thought people was mugging you off. Is it that you're vulnerable? You're vulnerable.
I'll be on. Yeah, now, like, I am vulnerable in that sort of scenario.
Yeah, so you don't want to look like you're being stupid. Or
but you got to go to a place at some point and learn something. You can't just know it all. So you have to educate yourself somehow, and education comes from within. So if you want to learn, you'll learn no matter what.
But what was the college? Like, how did they... Was they good? Was they good with you? Was it helpful?
I think they were good to a certain extent. It was round the corner here as well. And
this was the gas.
Yeah, the first one.
When did you do that?
The domestic I done just round the corner, Able Skills. And they were good at first. They, like, I explained the situation.
I done mine there as well.
Yeah, they gave me a bit of help at first. And then one of the tutors, he put the fear into me, and he said, if you're dyslexic, they might put, like, terms on your gas safe. So I was like,
oh, really?
Yeah. And he put the fear into me. So...
Because they don't, in these places, they don't have people to come in and help people that are dyslexic or anything.
But I didn't get any extra time or anything like that. So I didn't finish my exam within the allotted time. So I had to pay another, like, $850 or something to resit it. But in my mind, I'd taken out a 20 grand loan. Do you know what I mean? I was earning good money during the weeks, whatever, and bought a van, done the course and whatever. So I didn't care about money. I did not care. Like, it was like...
When you think about it, there's literally no support with people that need...
This is what I'm saying. And this is why I wanted to talk about this subject, because it's like, it's always held me back in life. But I've got to this point where I don't care anymore. Like, there was a scenario in the college where... one of, like, we was all standing round outside Able Skills, and one of them goes, ho, 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 oh, someone up there can't read. And I was burning, bruv. I wanted to bang him in his face. But I just went like that. No. I was like, Mike, it's not that I can't read, bruv. It's that I'm dyslexic. It takes me a little while, whatever. Do you know what I mean? And I'm bearing my soul here. And it's hurting me
Somebody actually said that.
Yeah, and this is a grown man, because everyone was older than me, and I made him feel that small.
Yeah.
But when I went home, like, I didn't, because I'm not that way in crap, but I felt like crying. Man, didn't cry though, bro. I didn't cry in the car. Do you know what I mean? But, like, it just made me feel so, like, worthless. And I never want to make anyone feel like that. I never want anyone feel that. So, hence why I'm sort of telling my story. And, like, if this helps one person, that's, like...
Yeah, you can't...
do you know what I mean? I don't like sort of putting people down. I'd rather propel you into the limelight and shrink myself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm not like that. I don't like seeing people, like, being put down in front of people. Do you know what I mean? It's not nice to see, is it? No,
and I'll always stick up for the underdog, because I've always been the underdog my whole life. People have always said, you can't do that, you can't charge that, you can't get this, you can't do that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely interesting, because a lot of people would hold back because there's no support for, like, people that need extra help at these colleges and stuff. Obviously, I think if you went to, like, a college that's funded by government. You know, when you go straight from school,
Yeah,
I think they have the help.
Well, I don't know if they have the help. They have funding.
It's not like schools, is
yeah,
it?
Yeah,
It's
it's
not
a
the
bit
same as
different. If
schools.
you pay for it yourself, like it's just like they get you.
There's
It's
no
a conveyor
support.
belt sort of
Yeah.
thing.
But that will put people off.
The
like-
commercial gas I done it in a firm, G20 in Hoddesdon, and they're not massive or anything, but I can relate to them. You know, the woman, like, she would have banter and she would absolutely annihilate me, but because she's got that sort of motherly sort of figure to herself or whatever, she got away with it. And I've got the intelligence not to throw the table at her. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can take the banter now. My my skin's a lot thicker, so I can take that on the chin. But my thing is, it's about progression. What are we doing if we're not progressing? You're standing still. Do you know what I mean? Like, why are you watching him? So you must get it a lot, Pete. A lot of people look at you and go, like, we were here and then now he's there. Because they were looking at your cup of tea, their cup of tea's gone cold. And I like a cup of tea, bro. Do you know what I mean?
That's
So
a
I'm
good-
not watching yours.
It's not a bad analogy, Kev. That's not a bad analogy.
Do you know what I mean?
suppose, yeah.
And also, because everyone's worried about what people think of them these days.
But this is what I was going to say. All you got to do is stay in your own lane and concentrate on you, not anyone else.
And do you know what I mean? Everyone likes a different amount of sugar in their tea. So you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Everyone, what was it? Plum hers, our mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. She said to me one day when we became friends, and she was like, "Kev, you're talking normal." I was like, "What do you mean?" And she was like, "You're not talking like a roadman, bruv." I was like, "Yeah, like I come from that, and you might, if I get angry, you might hear the slang come out,
Yeah.
but that doesn't define me."
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People judge, didn't they, straight away?
Yeah, they judge. They judge a book by its cover. And I'm a pipe fitter, plumber, gas engineer, domestic, commercial, done the air source heat pump thing recently, got my HIU certificate. Just trying to be the best that I can be. And that might come from a confidence thing because of I was always told I can't. So I've always tried to be better.
Yeah.
How was it going on your own? When did you go on your own?
So set up a company like, what was it 2014 or something like that. And I was still working for a firm.
Yeah.
But I was sort of, I could do that with my eyes closed. I was sort of acting supervisor, sort of like the older boys.
What was that in domestic?
It was sort of all over London, sort of like, you know, commercial sort of fit outs and things like that. And it was just too easy. Just, you know, ringing up TG Lyons, ordering materials, taking them, like my OCD would kick in. I would have fittings, chests in, and all the materials, I'd check them in, check them out, whatever. Lads will come up to me, "We ain't got that." "Yes, we have." Do you know what I mean?
I think it's not a bad thing. It keeps you organised, doesn't it?
I love it. I love it. Like, I did the weekend just gone. If I'm starting to get stressed, I'll just go out and tidy the van or tidy my bedside drawer or tidy something. It clears my mind. And I don't know if it's ADHD, something to do with the dyslexia, but it just helps me refocus. If I restock the van, re-tidy, people go, "You're mad, you've got too much time." But it's like therapy.
Is there anything, because there's a lot of people that has ADHD in them, but then some people are affected a lot more. Is there anything that you struggle with like that?
I remember it on a job one day, and I got blasted by the governor, and I was on my own, and he was like, "I need this, 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 and this done," and I was like, I did a little bit of that, and a little bit of that, and a little bit of that. By the end of the day, when he come back, I'd achieved nothing because it was like,
That's
like,
what I'm like, but it don't really
What you mean, like?
affect me. I'm like, I start a task,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, I do that. You start speaking to people, and a lot of people are like,
I'm
that.
like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
some people are so bad it actually affects their day to day. Like,
I think that does me. Like, I'll be doing something under a boiler, and then I'll flick to something else, like a bit of pipe work over there, or completely not finish the task that I started. Like, really, if you're doing a boiler, you should just be piping it all up at once, and that's it. But then I'll flick to something else. I might go and make the flue, do the flue.
the more I speak to people, the more people are like this. Like, is
But
there
I've
something
had
in
to
the food or
hardwire
water?
myself.
Like,
I
it's
don't
like,
know. It's got
it's getting
worse.
worse. Like, everyone's getting worse.
something in the water or something or whatever. But when that day, he scorned me so bad, like, I'm aware, start it, finish it, start it, finish it. So But the other side of that is if someone says to me like, oh, well, just like it burns me to come away from that task now, like, because I need
get
to
it done.
finish.
Yeah.
And like, I have hyper focus on something. Like, if I'm doing something and like someone sort of, you know, stops me from it, like, say if I'm watching a video or something,
Yeah.
like, I'll have to watch it 10 times, like a reel or something. I'll have to watch it 10 times to get to the end of it undisturbed.
Yeah, because there's the other way. Some
yeah.
people are set in their ways. They got to do that. and
Yeah,
like-
it's not that, like, I don't know. It's just like, I feel uncomfortable if I don't. Do you know what I mean? So
That is a sort of like a
OCD.
OCD.
Yeah.
It's
Do you know
like
what I mean?
I have to. Yeah.
But I've never been, not that I'm aware of, I've never been diagnosed with like ADHD or anything like that. Definitely been like diagnosed with dyslexia. Like, made
the
me
thing
look at all
is,
the funny
like,
cards and
I
that.
heard something the other day. It's what you tell the doctor in what they're gonna.
Yeah.
They can do obviously tests and stuff, but if you tell them I'm like this, I'm like,
But-
my mind's all over the place, they're probably gonna say you've got it, but it's all depends how much it affects your life. If
Yeah.
you can deal with it, you don't need.
I tell you
help,
what.
do you know
I
what I
tell you
mean?
what does affect it.
Yeah. Yeah, short attention spans.
That
Maybe this is making it worse. Yeah.
What,
Social-
podcast?
No,
social media-
phones.
Oh, I was gonna say,
social
what-
media is making the concentration span really bad in people.
You
And-
know,
and-
like
and-
if I go on a date with my missus or something, I try, like if she goes to the toilet, I try just to look around. I try not to pull out my phone because I'm bad for it. You know, I've sent you loads of reels, Pete.
Not anymore.
you-
You don't. Not after I told you not to.
Because you
Scolded you, didn't I? Told you not to.
Scolded me, yeah. I'm gonna send you loads now. Yeah, like it's been a struggle, and it is a constant struggle. But I think that's constant in life, in the sense of
Breaking
like,
that barrier, isn't it? Because you're doing
Yeah.
everything now, so it's like
Yeah,
you
and-
broke that barrier, so there's
Yeah.
nothing stopping you.
and it's like my thing was like when I took out the big loan and whatever, I was like, what's the worst that can happen? I've got a nice van. I can pay it back. I've got the means to pay it back. That's not a problem. So I just end up with a nice van.
Yeah.
And then I was going through a lot of like sort of in my personal life. And it was like, I looked in the mirror one day and it was like, what are you going to do, Kev? You're going to give up now? Or are you going to carry on? And like not show the naysayers, but just do it for yourself. Because I've always done things for other people. So it was like, that was the point where I was like, do it for yourself. Because I didn't do the gas for me. I did it to bring something more to the table. And when I sort of made that decision and I passed, I thought it would be like my driving test. When I passed that, it was amazing. It wasn't. It was just like another door opened.
Yeah.
And then you've gone through that door and there's another 10 doors. So it was opening doors, so to speak, because you think the gas is going to change your life and it doesn't. You've still got a graft.
I think, yeah, you've got a graft. I think it does, though. Like, I remember when I passed my gas and I thought to myself, I'm free to do it now. Do you know what I mean? I'm free to be able to fit boilers. Well, let's be honest, we all fitted boilers before we were gas safe, but we'd maybe get someone to sign them off.
Bleep that bit out.
That's
Cut that
what,
bit out.
That's what
Yeah.
people do. Like, whether you like it or not, there are people out there who fit boilers. They get their mate round, their mate sign it off for them. You know what I mean? Fuck
But the
it.
thing with that is,
But you're
aware of their skill set.
Yeah. But when you finally do it and you're like the man, you do feel with yourself there is a sense of freedom and achievement there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you do any course of any sort, you will get a sense of achievement, whatever course it is or
Do
whatever.
you know when I get a sense of achievement?
Go on.
When I look back at a job and go, I did that.
Yeah.
I did that.
That's the best thing about the trades industry, like where it's construction and that. You look at that job, you take a step back and go, I put that together. Do you know what I mean? Builders will look at a house and go, I built that house. Do you know that. So there's a tremendous sense of achievement within the trades industry that people don't really appreciate. Like if they took a step back and looked at, instead of just thinking, it's a job,
Yeah.
and then they just turned around and they went, actually, I've done that for that person and they're happy with it. Well, I should be happy with it and quite proud of it. Do you know what I mean? And then they'd probably feel better about themselves.
Yeah.
In general.
That's what I do love
And
about
it's-
social media. I do love that about social media. Everyone shows their best bits. Not everyone shows their worst bits. Maybe you show your worst bits.
do.
Pete. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But like, I love showing from start to finish sort of the quality of work, and it's it's making people, because people are held accountable. So
Yeah.
this is my work.
People worried
I'm
about putting a
proud.
post out because they think, oh,
I don't
have
care.
I done something
like,
wrong?
Annihilate me all you want. I
Yeah.
don't care.
No.
Because if you've got a problem, if you haven't got my number,
I don't. Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like, you can't ring me up and go, Kev, you're a mug.
I think the best that is the nice. Social media is great to showcase your work and use it as a portfolio, but it doesn't really. A lot of people don't like the fact that everything's perfect a lot of the time, and it's not. So you do need people like me showing the shit side of it, because I don't give a shit. I'll show a bit of like plastic being thrown in, because we've all done it. I don't care who you are, we've all done it. I don't care.
You're the bit in Lion King. Yeah, that's where we don't go. That's where the light don't hit. Innit?
Mate,
You're
like,
that bit.
it is what it is, isn't it? Like, I like to think like that's where a lot of people who associate with me say, I get a lot of engagement from people who are just the slingers.
Yeah.
A lot of people are slingers who go, I'm going to work at 8, I'm coming back at 5, and I don't give a shit as long as I get the job done and get paid, right?
Yeah.
And they like to see the stuff online that they do.
Yeah.
I'm not saying saying it's shit
But
work.
but I've seen your work. You can sling it and you can do the nice stuff.
Yeah, I said, if you want to, yeah. Do you know what I mean? But there are some jobs that just don't warrant it, or you ain't got the time. I think a lot of people put too much time into social media sometimes.
Yeah,
And take their eye off the real work, just to getting the job done and getting paid.
No, it don't all have to be shiny, and it don't all have to be Gucci, because let's have it right. The maintenance ain't all Gucci. It's get it working. You know, if you're going into a school and they're down or something, you have to get them up and running. It might not look pretty, but we get it done.
Yeah.
That's what an engineer is. I just love it when it does look good and it does sit well with me. It fits my OCD, but I've kind of put myself in the market where I'm not cheap, I'm not overly expensive, I'm somewhere in the middle. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah, we were saying earlier, because you just become a busy fool, didn't you?
busy fool, and I don't want to be a busy fool, because if you've got 100 customers and you're charging them all 50 quid, and you get rid of half of your customers and you charge 100 quid an hour, you're making the same money.
Yeah.
And that's
working
basic.
less.
And I'm dyslexic, and I can work that out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it becomes I see what you're saying, but there are certain situations. So I have this conversation with a lot of people. Everybody said that I've undercharged for it, and I will agree with it. Yeah, I've never got my business model right.
I undercharge.
Never ever got my business model right, and probably because I'm not like a cutthroat businessman and want to make. I've not been ever really concerned about making money, if you like. As long as I've had enough money to get by and survive, that's me. I've never had really the ambition. Well, I have now, right? I've started to get the ambition of like, no, I'm going to do something and like, we're going to go somewhere, yeah? But I've never had the ambition. It's a case of getting the job done, working, and having a good customer relationship and trying to be, in my mind, fair, but not from a business sense. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I did a job yesterday for my neighbour over the road. He's 80-year-old.
Yeah.
Right? He put my mum and dad's central heating in 40 years ago, right? So I changed a 2-port valve for him, right? He said, how much do you want? I went, old boy, do you know what I mean? He had the valve, old plumber and that. I went, it's 80 quid. That'll do. He went, no. Gets out 140 quid. He went, there you go. I went, I said,
because that's a tradesman.
I know. But I was expecting him to be like old school.
Yeah.
Like you this is
Times
how much
have
it cost in
changed.
the old days.
Yeah.
Well, what? How much? But he weren't. He was like, no, there you go.
Because he was happy. Because
and I paid that in my bank account, that £140, and 20% tax come off it.
No, but the thing is, he respected you, and this is where I'm putting myself. I want a customer that respects the work I do. They're happy because you know, they go, oh, Kev, we're going to go with someone else. You're a little bit too expensive. Okay, no problem. Yeah, no problem. 2 weeks later, they phone me, oh, Kevin, like, you know, we've had a bit of an issue. Like, we've got leaks, we've got this, we've got that. Okay. We thought it was expensive first time round, but you wouldn't have had these problems. And if there was any problems, I would have come back.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But
yeah, a lot of people don't go back.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
is it?
I will go back.
You're going to price yourself in for a good service, isn't you? Like, that's what you're doing.
I think, though, then it comes down to the engineer's part to give that message across that they are getting a good service, because in their mind you're the same person as him.
Yeah, of course.
So you
of
need
course.
to give your message out.
Do you know what I do when they go, I want a service? Okay, how old's the boiler? When was it last serviced? Oh, it hasn't been serviced in, a couple of 2 years. All right, okay, no problem. Well, I recommend a full strip down service, because I've never serviced the boiler. I don't know the state of it. Once I give it a full strip down service, I will know what sort of stage it is at, because I've opened it up, I've changed parts, I've changed the electrodes, all the gaskets, everything. And then next year, we might not have to do a full strip down. We might have to take the plate out and clean that out or replace it. We might have to do these things to get it to a certain level. Once I've got it there, then, we can keep that boiler alive, no problems. But I'm not gonna just go, I'll do a service, 100 quid, whatever, and I'm trying to educate them in that sense.
Do you know what a good thing is? Is like, if someone's asked you to do a service, send them a quote, but create some sort of document which explains what you do.
That's the tech side coming in.
Yeah, that's there is
that
that
looks
to it.
good. Like, people appreciate, because that's sending
But
your
do
message
you know what I
across.
do? Kind of like what you're saying. I take photos before and after and small sort of like 15,
to
20
win that
second
job-
videos.
I don't work like that, because I think you are looking at it in a way of,
That's being professional.
you know,
right,
it's
in a
being
top standard
professional.
way.
I know it's being professional, but you are putting in a lot of time to doing that.
I just
as
do it in
well
my
as-
invoices.
you create that once. You create that document once, and you got it for
But
every
how do you know
customer.
that you need that for every boiler?
Well, it's you can create for different boilers. Say if it's based on a full strip down, you could create 5 for 5 different. It's going to be a bit different, but it's going to be generic in some sort of way. But it just looks professional, and you could win that job just by being that extra bit on top of
But but you're talking about boiler servicing. It's not like a big job, is it? It's a boiler service. You might win that job.
I did one. It took me 3
This
hours.
is weird,
You're
isn't it?
educating the customer.
I
but-
did one. It took me 3 hours on a Worcester. The electrodes were around the side. It was a nightmare. It was up high in a cupboard. It was awkward, and I cleaned it out. Boiler's never run so good in all its life. And the customer, she was so happy. She was like, she lives abroad somewhere in like Sweden or something, but she's got tenants. And I sent her the photos and the videos, and I was like, this is this is that. I've changed that. I've done that. She can see in front of her on WhatsApp.
Oh yeah, no,
That's like prove beyond reasonable doubt you've done what you've said you've done.
People don't
I
trust.
will. This is the thing, right? I will tell people what I'm doing. A lot of people will not like customers watching them and that.
I don't care. I don't care. I've passed that point.
I do like to actually talk people through what I'm doing.
Yeah, I do that.
they
I
know
do it to myself.
They know exactly what they're getting. I say, look, this is what I'm doing here. Do you want to have a look at this? Look, pressure vessel's not charged. Blah blah blah. This needs changing. That plate to plate. I'll explain how it works. And then they got that in their head of how it is working and what they're paying for, sort of thing. But then I'm probably too cheap on that side of things, because I've never been able to take money easily.
I've learned to be able to do that. Unless it's
terrible for it.
There's been times I've gone into a job and it's a little old lady and she's on her own and things like that, and it's thermostat, batteries in the thermostat, and she's had the batteries. I've changed the batteries.
And you've only charged her 500 quid.
550. No, and then I've had a cup of tea, little chat with her, because whatever, and I've gone, look, don't worry about today, but if you have any problems in the future, give me a
I've
call.
done it loads.
And I've come back and whatever, and that goes such a long way.
Yeah.
And then I'll get a phone call from like their daughter or their son, and they'll be like, Kevin, thank you so much, you're so honest, you're so this, you're so that, because I like to think, if that was my mum,
Bruv, I done it.
do you know what I mean?
I done exactly the same the other day. Someone called me out. He's called me out to a toilet around his mum's, right? And she said, oh, she needs it because she's got like this bowel problem or whatever anyway. So I said, I'll be round in the afternoon. I've gone round in the afternoon anyway. She went, oh, I'm so sorry. Did my son not phone you? And I was like, what? She went, the man next door's come round and he's just done something to it. Because in my head, the way he explained it, all the cistern guts needed changing, right? And I've gone round there and she's gone, oh, he's come round. I went, and I've looked at it. He went, oh, yeah, whatever he's done, there's nothing wrong with it. It's all working fine. It's completely... She went, oh, my son said you're going to have to pay him now because he's bought materials for the job. I went, no. I went, what?
But you're not a con artist, though.
Yeah,
it all comes down.
You ain't got
But she
that
goes,
in
but
you.
I've got to give you. She goes, I've got to give you money for the time and the diesel. I went, Don't worry about it.
You could charge him a call out because but like
Yeah, but
morally that's probably
I'm not
wrong.
gonna do that,
But
'cause
if you're big business,
Yeah.
if you're British Gas or whatever, you're getting charged.
Yeah.
It's all about trust.
Yeah.
A lot of people
And-
don't trust tradesmen. So if you can portray that you're honest and trustworthy in like how you want to offer
Have
that
a certain
job to
sense of
them,
morality about
Yeah.
it.
and you because people don't know the difference between a full strip down and
Yeah, they
You
don't.
could- you
And
could
I've
quote-
explained that to customers.
you could
And-
quote the same as someone else,
Yeah.
same price, but they do a lot less than you will. So
Yeah.
if you can tell them what you're doing, they'll question the other person. Say, "Are you doing this?"
Yeah.
Because you're telling them what you're gonna do.
I said to
I
her,
did that to a customer, and I explained in Highgate. I explained it, and I was like, and she was like, "Oh, you're the only one. Everyone else just said, yeah, 100 quid, whatever, because they're not like they don't care. It's just quick turnover." And I want to do a proper job. Like, what if I full strip down that? No, if it takes me 2 hours, 4 hours, that one the other day took me 3 hours. It was a nightmare, but I did it. There was sweat dripping off my nose and everything because it was awkward, whatever. And I got to the end of it, and I felt like a sense of achievement because I've done a proper
you know
job.
you've done it, yeah.
I've done a proper job, and no one can fault me for that.
funny.
There might be engineers out that will smash it out in an hour, 2 hours, whatever. Good for them. They're obviously faster than me.
Yeah.
But I'm just a bit pedantic. Like, I'll do a proper job.
I said to a bit of an example of what you were saying, Kieran, about the customer knows, didn't they? It's like around when me bird got her flat, she obviously rents it off a private landlord anyway. I had to send gas safe round. But I said, make sure when he does the service on the boiler that he takes the case off, right? So he comes round. Apparently, she went. I told him. She went, "Are you taking the case cover off that?" And he went, "What?" He went, "Oh." He goes, "You know?" She went, "Yeah." She goes, my fella's a gas engineer. So like he's like, okay.
Yeah.
So like you say, if you're talking a customer around that, the amount of customers that I've gone into houses before and I've put my tools down, taken the cover off, and they go,
They've never done that before.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah,
think
when you've got the
yourself,
boiler in bits, they've never done that before.
yeah, why are you doing that? Because
But-
that's part of a full service.
You could walk in and be in and out in 15 minutes. They'll think it's been serviced.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's
but
where
it's not a service.
That's where the difference. You've got to get the message across of what you're doing and explain why you're doing that.
That's where social media becomes good.
Yeah,
Because if
'cause
you
it
can
calls
show
people out
if
and
you
you
can
show-
videos and show that to your customer, this is our services. They go, oh,
Yeah.
he's thorough. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? That's
Yes,
That's
yes.
not like the other guy. So that's really good thing on social media
Yeah.
to
And-
promote yourself like that.
And for the younger generation coming up, if you're, there's a lot of guys out there, I'm not going to mention no names, but they're all doing good work, yeah? And I've learnt from some of these guys, we've probably all learnt from some of these guys. And if you've never done it before and you see a video on YouTube or Instagram or whatever, one of these platforms, and someone stripped the boiler down, and you go, oh, that's what they do. Oh, that's why they do that.
Yeah.
That's what a low loss
Yeah, it's a
header
form
is.
of
That's
it-
what
it's
you,
a-
so you
it's-
learn these things from other people.
It's a form of education, but a lot of people don't like that because a lot of engineers will go, oh, well, you're telling people how to do our jobs. Do you know what I mean? You're telling
you're just better informed.
you're
because you
telling
can't
Joe,
do it.
you're
informed.
telling Joe Public how to do
yeah, but
our
you're
job.
protected because as
Yeah.
a gas engineer, like it's illegal if they're touching it. So
It's not
Yeah.
not their own.
Yeah,
I
if they're
don't
touching that
know. I don't know
no,
about that.
No, you're not.
Yeah,
no,
no, that's
no,
illegal.
I'm telling you now.
No.
In your
Yeah, I
property,
think-
what
I
a
think-
homeowner's allowed
Yeah.
to strip down the boiler?
yeah, they can
Nah.
do. They can.
Where does it say that?
They can do whatever they want in their property, mate.
Where did you hear that?
I think that was a thing. I don't know if that's a thing anymore. I don't think like they were allowed to sort of mess with their own boiler, but I don't think that's a thing anymore.
I don't know.
I don't
One-
think they'll
one
be
of
allowed
the,
to strip it down.
inspectors said they can't. No, it was when I was doing the air source heat pump. He was like, "That's not a thing.
What?
It's not a thing anymore."
Really?
Yeah. Don't hold me to that. I could be wrong, but that's what I was
It
told
always
on a
used to
college
be
course.
you could do
Yeah.
whatever you wanted to your own gas
Yeah,
appliance.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You can like if you got a car, you can do whatever you want to your car.
Yeah, but it's not regulated. Gas
Well,
safety
yeah,
needs
but-
to be gas
yeah,
safe.
but MOTs.
That's the difference.
What's stopping a guy with his car change his own brakes?
Yeah, but gas safe is a law.
So a mechanic has
It's
to
not a
be
law. It's
regulated.
not a
Yeah,
law,
for
though.
MOT does.
Yeah, for MOT.
know
Oh
what I
yeah,
mean?
to do an MOT certificate.
The reason I wanted to come here today, lads, is just to sort of tell my story, and sort of I wanted to encourage someone else. So if someone else was sort of scared, going off topic from what we was just talking about, if someone was sort of scared to go to a college or scared to do this or scared to do that, just let them know that just do it. What's the worst that can happen? What, your feelings get hurt? So what? Your skin gets thicker, like you'll grow, you'll progress. That, like, if you sit at home and do nothing, you'll get nowhere. That's guaranteed. But if you get out there and you try and you push, great things can happen. That's the message that I wanted to push to people.
Yeah, no, you're right.
From this, because I've always been positive with you, Pete, and you're a bit of a negative Nelly most of the time.
What are you talking about?
Like, I'm not going to say what I want to say, but you're a bit of a miserable. Do you know what I mean?
A lot of that is persona, Kev. Right? Let me.
You ain't got to lie, Craig.
A lot of that is persona, right? Now, I will say, a lot of my rants, is for entertainment. Right, it's not for the.
It don't entertain me, Pete.
Listen, it does. A lot of people, right? Maybe not you.
Well, they might be miserable as well.
Maybe not you. Maybe you read it the wrong way.
Oh, my life's not that bad. Look at him.
No, the thing is, right. So if you rant on social media, right? Let's have it right. People love somebody ranting on social media. People love it. That's why I do it. But what I do it for is because of the other people out there who want to say something about a certain situation who don't.
Yeah.
And then what they go, I'm glad this bloke said that because I thought it all was enough. So it's not me being, it's sort of like from a negative, you're trying to get a positive.
Okay, I respect that. I respect that. I've just always seen it as being negative.
Well, so what's your plans for the future?
Drugs and horse. No, I'm joking. Just try and be better, man. Do better, be better. Do you know what I mean? Just meet new people, all that sort of good stuff. And progress. Just be better than I was yesterday. Do you know what I mean? And educating myself as I've got older, I kind of see what the teachers say. And I was told, like, you're an amount to nothing. Like, I was told that in college. One of the tutors go, you'll get to a certain level and you'll never get past that. Look at me now, bruv. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like that. You will have a lot of teachers say it. But teachers, I don't think teachers say that to put you down. I think a lot of teachers say that because that has encouraged you.
Yeah, me. But I'm stubborn and I've got a certain personality.
Yeah.
When they say things like that, I go, yeah, show me.
I mean, I don't know if teachers...
Go on, tell me some more.
I don't know if teachers necessarily say it. It's like now, but like back in the day, they would say, yeah, you won't amount to nothing, you're going to leave school with nothing. Yeah. But that would just... because that there is reverse psychology. It's that case of...
Yeah, but at the
who I am.
Yeah, but at the time it wasn't.
Yeah,
it
maybe
was just
not.
Nasty.
Maybe not.
It was just nasty because I was a little shit.
Yeah.
And they didn't know how to deal with that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But you know, we all read things differently, can't we? You can read it in because
I can read it backwards, bro.
Because now you look at it and you think again. But then because of that comment, you've got a sense of achievement from it, innit? Because you've said, like, do you know what I mean? So now you're getting a positive from a negative.
Yeah.
So read it whichever way you want. You've got a positive out of it in the end.
But I could have been like, I'm not digging out the youth of today, but a lot of them just sad, depressed, and you know what I mean. And that's a real thing. But why are you sad and depressed? Because you're eating rubbish. You're on your phone all the time. You haven't gone out and seen the sunlight. You haven't gone to the gym. Do you know what I mean? Before you go near a doctor and go and get tablets, like, how about try and change all of them things and then come and talk to me.
Yeah.
And I am not a doctor by no chance. Do you know what I mean? I'm just
shit. He thinks he's got a stethoscope around his neck there.
Bruv, that's just when you talk too much rubbish. I've got them on. You know what I mean?
We're going to wrap it up now?
Yeah. I think otherwise we end up waffling too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think this was a good thing to do, sort of come out and just tell my truth.
You came out live on air?
Yeah. Tell my truth.
Well, congrats on everything you've achieved.
I appreciate that,
mate,
boys. Likewise.
I'm looking forward to seeing your journey.
No, we're all like good mates here, and we're proud of what everyone's achieving and doing. So we just keep going, keep progressing.
You popped out from down under, ended up in London, now you're in Essex.
Yeah.
No, well done, mate. Thanks for coming on.
Don't tell me I live in Essex now, bro. Beating man's ends up now, cuz. Man's from London.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Cheers, Kevin.
Yeah.
All right, this has been another episode of Off the Job Podcast.
Thanks for watching the show on YouTube or listening on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts and all other streaming platforms.
If it's your first time watching or not, make sure to subscribe below and follow us on all the big social media stuff like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
For our overtime show on Monday, send us in your stories and comments for it to be read out on the show. Send it in via email, direct message through our social media accounts, or WhatsApp us on 07457 406 259.
And we'll see you on the next episode.